Hello YouTubers and Native American flute players. I'm Bruce Pediajashi, the flute guy, who lives way over yonder in Chuncheon, South Korea. Today we're going to look at, or this time, it's the same day actually, we're going to look at flutes in the key of C minor pentatonic, low C that is. I have two in my collection. This one, if you've watched any of my videos, you will be familiar with it. This is the high spirits Condor bass flute. We call it bass flute in C, and it's made of black walnut, very rugged, tight-grained wood, and it's called the Condor, and that is a facsimile of a condor there, the fetish. Some beautiful leather tie work there. It has the typical high spirits leather strap that you can use to cover this fourth hole. For those who are learning to play the minor pentatonic scale, you put the little leather strap there in case you forget to keep this finger on this hole at all times. Okay. Otherwise you can move it off like I have. Also, again, it has the flat mouthpiece, kind of rectangular flat mouthpiece that sits quite comfortably up against your mouth, okay, when you're playing. He has lots of kind of chevron type of things burned in here. Okay, it's quite a attractive flute. Again, this is a single piece flute. It's bored out through one piece of wood. Okay, even has a slight burn smell. You can tell where the drill bit was kind of burning in there a little bit, as is normal when you're drilling out wood. And this has a very crisp, clear, and resonant sound, a beautiful sound. Okay, and it requires some long arms actually. With this flute, I've noticed the scale is a bit limited, but to Odell Borg and High Spirits Flutes credit, they tell you it's a one-octave flute, and it's basically, that's right on the money for this particular one. I think I can squeeze an extra note out, and that's about it. So you get... Now with hardwood, sometimes even if you just keep blowing, you can get the note without actually fingering it. Here's the octave. So all I did was increase my breath pressure and I got that extra note. It's kind of interesting to know. It takes a little practice to get it right. And obviously when you do that, it's not the prettiest of things, but in the right context, you can make it work for you. Okay? It's quite a large bore, wouldn't you say? I haven't measured it, but I think it's just under 2 inches. Okay. Okay. The Condor bass flute, great backpiping flute. This thing is as rugged as you can imagine. Funny story, had this sticking out of my backpack once. I think it was like this. Okay, and that kind of chevrons were visible. I was walking up a peach orchard road where that leads up to where the tunnels are where I play, and this Korean farmer, who's a couple years younger than me, I talked to a few times in the street. Hey, what are you doing? Where's it? What's that? He goes, oh, what's that? Ah, Condor. He thought this was the sort of sword that you use when you do the martial art. Koreans call it Condor and Japanese call it Kendo. I guess I can see why he said that. It kind of does look like that. He says, "그거 뭐야? Oh, Condor." No, it's a flute. Sorry. Okay. The other thing about this is part of the beautiful tone actually comes from the large holes. Okay, you'll notice I have fairly large fingers, but those are good size holes there. Okay, so it is with some degree of effort that you require to close those, and it's the upper holes actually that are large. Okay, And so when I first got this, it was a little bit funny for a short while getting used to the size of those holes. So if you happen to have thin, narrow fingers, this might be a bit of more of a challenge for you. Okay, not saying you can't do it. In that case, you just have to play it more flat-fingered, almost like you're playing a low whistle, which is possible. Okay, we're actually laying your fingers over instead of doing this. Okay, you're getting into this area, and you're past the second joint. Okay, whatever works for you. Okay, there's no real rule that says you must play with the tips of the pads of your fingers. Okay, just do whatever makes it comfortable. Okay, but you can see those are pretty big holes, and you can see what that does to the tips of my fingers. Okay, that's the Condor bass flute in C. These days, Odell Borg in High Spirits also makes these same flutes, the Condor line. I think it's they go E minor, D minor, D minor, C minor, and B minor. All four of those you can get in Spanish cedar, which is lightweight and has a lovely smell to it. Okay, but it's all softwood. It has a little bit different tone, but it's still quite resonant, just like this. Okay, and in Eastern aromatic cedar, I've got the low C minor pentatonic flute from Laughing Crow. Okay, by now you should be very familiar with this shape. Okay, what's different? This one has a very smooth and mellow tone to it. Now I can get a bit more range out of this one than I can with the Condor, so as you're going down in the keys, the previous video was D, this one is C. Again, the hole spacing starts spreading out quite a bit. Let's do some comparison here. Okay, as you can see, okay, the Laughing Crow flute, okay, that bottom hole is a little bit farther down than on the High Spirits flute, so it's a bit more of a stretch. Okay, but the trade-off is the size of the holes themselves is fairly in fact it is uniform on the Laughing Crow. The holes are all the same size here, but the distance to the bottom hole, or which would be the first hole actually, is a bit farther, as you can see. Whereas on the Condor flutes, it's the distance between the holes and the distance to the bottom hole is not as far. But the top holes, the top holes are larger in diameter, so there may be some sort of issue with you covering them. Okay, let's listen to these one more time before I stop the video. Okay. Okay, there you have it. The Condor flute in C from High Spirits, made out of black walnut, and the C flute from Laughing Crow, made of Eastern aromatic cedar. Okay, I'm Bruce. Thank you. Coming up next, drone flutes. And I'll hit the remaining lower keys that I have in separate videos. Thanks.